and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to stand here after 40 years that we left this institute. It is said that every great journey begins with the first step. We together took our first step. So let's today take a small detour back in time, reliving those first steps as youngsters. A time when we, as teens, firmly believed in the saying that you only look good as your last haircut. Some of us proudly flaunting the wacky bob cut and up to shoulders, while others sporting the more global rock and roll look with the Beatles-style haircuts. The disbelief in your eyes tells me that many of you can't even imagine that you would have hairs on styles. But keeping looks aside, let me state that on behalf of the class of 70, that besides the exhilaration of liberation that we were experiencing moving away from home, we were in complete awe of Banaras. In those days, even to our limited minds, it was a city bigger than life size, mystical in nature, abode of Lord Shiva, and embraced by the great holy river Ganges. Boating in the Ganges those days used to invoke a different kind of emotion compared to what we probably did yesterday evening when we sailed from Assi Ghat to Rajghat and we saw the Aarti. Far beyond the things you see, time rolls on eternally, but I am sure last evening for many of us time stood still. As we transcended the journey, the boat, the Ganges, and even Banaras. The whole creation ceased for those few hours. In the sound of bells and chants, the water and the stretched reflections of lights in Uttar Vahini as we got transported to catch the complete glimpse of that bliss. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Banaras, whose glory even 2600 years back was such that Buddha, after getting enlightened, walked 60 days to come to this great city, Sarnath, to give his first sermon. So that is the glory of Banaras. Banaras, the city of temples, music, mysticism, education, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sufism, the city that gave us the glimpse of the truth. We bow to Lord Shiva for bringing us to this great place, Kashi, for our most important lesson in life. Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya, friends, anywhere else would not be the same. The energy and the vibration that this great institution receives from the holy city transfers to its thousands of scholars and builds their persona. And this was long foreseen by the great seer and visionary, its founder, Pandit Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. We all who have received our education at this great institution would remain in debt for him forever. The period in which we stayed at the campus was possibly one of the most turbulent times in BHU history. Not that we were active participants in any of those avoidable events, but certainly being in the campus, we were passive observers. And to be honest, we even enjoyed the 3 times that the university was closed signed-eyed. We also had a great flood, for which we used to get running commentary in the classes that where the water has reached last. And finally, the voice was heard and the university was closed for a month. And we were sent home back.
Enjoyed.
Absolutely.
68 September.
Besides these welcome holidays, we were fortunate to have been a part of the Golden Jubilee celebrations and had the privilege of hearing Pandit Ravi Shankar and Kishan Maharaj live in the music faculty. Our TECHNO orchestra had the honor of performing at the function and also win an award. we were very proud that it had members from our very distinguished class, the class of 70. In those days, I don't know what it's called today, besides Institute of Technology. It may give it if I give it a persona, used to be like, say the city of Delhi. Smart, savvy, and little arrogant. And like Delhi has its share of slums, people like us who came from the adjoining districts of Varanasi and were called Balyatics were also part of the class of 70. You were the metro. You may recall that Techno College Day used to be the most celebrated event in the university, and sitting among us. A pass to this event used to be a major currency that was used to invite the heartthrobs from the walled hostels near the gate of this great university. The impact of those events got so engraved on some of our infantile mind that some of us got smitten by it. Ultimately, that seedling cost me personally about 8 crores to write and produce Banaras domestic landscape every year. A copy of which I am going to present all my faculty. The more studying you did for the exams, the less sure you were as to which answer they wanted. Which is why many of the members of our class were to be found more cycling in the vicinity of Lanka, not necessarily Lanka. Are sitting in the cinema halls rather than sitting in what they thought to be, I don't want to be part of it, thought to be boring classes. And before the exams, we prayed en masse for general promotion. Rather than giving those arduous examinations. If we ever came to Morvi Hostel in those days, you would be familiar with the chorus of Sankat Mochan general promotion. I am sure Dr. Arun Pandey and Dr. G.M. Pandey, who used to be our wardens of the hostel, must be familiar with the rants. And even though Lord Hanuman didn't ever oblige, he remained one of our main deities in our hearts, especially because of those exquisite laddus that is offered there as prasad. You may have noticed that the university temple is very conveniently located close to the Morvi Hospital, where we spend most of the time. But the most serious visit to the temple used to happen only during the examinations. And I suspect Lord Shiva must have played a key role in influencing the teachers who would be examining our answer sheets. I don't have any other explanation how else we could have graduated or post-graduated from this institution.
One of you did.
Thanks for being honest.
And thus on behalf of Lord, and thus our belief in Lord Shiva grew stronger and stronger every year. I hesitate standing here in front of the honorable guests here because it might incriminate ourselves, including the Director of Institute of Technology, by sharing with you as to how often we used to bribe the keeper of the hostel gate to go to the 9 to 12 movies. And while at it, let me also share with you the special skills that we acquired to pull rickshaw in the wee hours of the morning on empty roads of Banaras. However, if I took everything into account, with the exception of a few like me, who had seen a city for the first time and were still dazed while leaving this university, the class of 70 was restless, curious, creative, confident, and full of optimism. And I am told that they used to be the most sought after candidates by the fairer gender, both inside and outside the campus. how our most honorable professors viewed us then, and we'd like to listen honestly today, but could only guess through your fondness, kindness, and sympathy. To us, you were like shining stars who couldn't be comprehended, only marveled at. You were all epitome of brilliance and possessed some extraordinary skills and knowledge that made you look superhuman to us. Those complex tensor equations that grew on the blackboard from nowhere are the description of entropy and the equations of fluid dynamics that still give us shivers were taught effortlessly by these masters. And to top them all, there was someone who went into blissful trance while teaching a transport phenomena, a subject for the fear of which I abandoned chemical engineering and moved into information technology. That, ladies and gentlemen, was none other than late Dr. Gopal Tripathi, the God himself. Yes. Not the kindness and tolerance of our honorable professors. I vividly recall the last lecture of late Dr. Vageshwarji. I quote, "I am sure you will get your degree, if not through the door, by the window." Because everyone who came here got one. But I have only one thing important to say to you guys. We tolerated your nonsense for the good 5 years. But as you enter the working life, I urge you to stop your stupidities right here. This is literally what we are doing. Today we thank you for giving us the opportunity to bow to you personally. And thank you for your tolerance, affection and generosity that you bestowed upon us while we were with you. Whatever we are today, the foundation of it all was laid right here at this great institution and this great holy city. As we come face to face with you after more than 4 decades, we feel small, humbled and overwhelmed. We appeal once again to your goodness for ourselves and our families and hope to be blessed as before. Thank you.